Sky Squad, we are back in the building and we are going to be discussing Basketball Wives Season 10, episodes 9 and 10. Because these mofos had the nerve to put two episodes on back to back last night. Okay. I had to find out the hard way via TV Deets on Instagram that it was going to be a double header. I was not prepared. Number one, I was already coming off the doubleheader from last night and did 3 videos yesterday. So your boy was already wiped out, okay? So then to find out that I'm going to have to do double duty again last night, baby, let me tell you something. I was mad as fire, okay? Especially when the last episode took me so much to get through that I felt like listen, I barely made it through it. Well, no, not last week. I think it was the week before last. I was pissed off, peeved, annoyed, and dismayed and disappointed. But last week it kind of picked up just a little bit. This week we got so much going on in 2 hours that I'm only going to talk about the highlights of the episodes, okay? Now, I made notes all throughout the episodes. Don't get me wrong. But some of these scenes ain't worth talking about. So we're going to skip past those, okay? I just wanted to shout out Katrina's post. It says, British needs to mind her MF in business. Malaysia didn't know homegirl messed with the earrings. I mean, Angel baby daddy earrings. It's going to take you forever, okay? It's going to take you forever to finish the episodes, but we're going to talk about it nonetheless, all right? So, you know, I need to go to something real quick. Now, I had put a poll on the thingamajig, okay? And I asked you guys, was Malaysia set up by production or did she bring the drama on herself? Most of you guys feel like 78% of you guys currently feel like it was a production scheme that Todd has set up to come to us with the BS. 22% of y'all feel like she did it herself. If you are a fan of Basketball Wives and you have been watching this show for ages, you will realize that this was a similar maneuver that was pulled on Angel Brinks seasons ago. Well, one other season that, no, how many seasons was she on? I don't remember, but the other season that she was on where she had the blue purple hair that was all over the place. So I'm shocked that they did this again, okay? They did it again. So while I was going to give the episode an 8 point, no, I wasn't going to give it an 8. I was going to give it an 8. I'm going to give it a 7.5. The reason I'm going to give these two episodes combined a 7.5 is because actually, in and of themselves, both episodes could have really been combined into one episode because it wasn't enough material to warrant all of what we saw last night, all 2 hours. And two, I could not tell where one episode ended and the other episode began. So there was that because I was watching it on the Hulu. So it just transitioned on into the next episode. And I was kind of like, are we there yet? And then 3, again, as I stated before, we have already seen this maneuver play out before when Jackie brought in somebody that dated, you know, Angel Brinks' her ex baby daddy who had passed. Okay, this man is no longer with us. Why don't y'all let him rest and let him be? And so I don't understand why this situation even matters at all at this point in time, because Angel is with Rockstar. She's got another baby on the way. This man has passed. So at the end of the day, I'm assuming that's who they're talking about. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, because I think that was who they was talking about. So why not let this man rest? Okay. Why not let this man rest in peace? If you're going to listen, it's just frustrating to me to see this play out all over again. But we're going to get there. Oh, Tyreek is not the baby daddy that's passed. My bad. Okay. If y'all saying it's not the baby daddy that passed, fine. But the question still remains, and I feel like Kay Johnson, who can keep track of who slept with who and where if there was no amount of significance in terms of did Ashley have a baby with this man? It don't seem like she did. Did she end up marrying the man? It don't seem like she did. Okay. Might they have dated at the same time? It might have been the case, but because nobody is willing to give up the accurate details of the situation, I don't know why I'm supposed to be mad. Okay, to be quite honest with you, I really don't. I don't know why. Now, personally, and that was the other reason I can't give it no more. I can't give it the 8 that I wanted to give it, was because I feel like this was the scheme that production has set up to come to Malaysia with the BS. And I just felt like she was the easiest target after the sisters had left after popping Brandi with the bottle. Okay. I'll get into why I feel like it was a setup when we get to that scene. But before we get there, okay, we're still so I've rated the episode. Welcome Sky Squad back into the building. I love you all. And since we've already just dived headfirst in, let's keep going. Now, we're still in Vegas, and as Jackie narrates what happened, we learn that Duffy threw a plate. Naria threw some apples back at Duffy. Then Brooke throws the champagne at the girls randomly out of the blue. Brooke's stance on this throughout this episode is I should not have let those girls take me there because I felt like they were antagonizing me. Based on what we saw on the television screen, no one was talking to Brooke. The conversation was between the sisters and Duffy. Okay, specifically Naria and Duffy. So it should have just stayed there, to be quite honest with you, as Duffy is trying to kick Naria out of a production gathered house. The house was not Duffy's. Duffy did not rent that house. Her name was not on the listing for the Airbnb as the renter. So she's trying to kick somebody out. But girl, you have no jurisdiction because your hotel is over there. Okay. You can kick out your hotel room, but you're not there right now. Brooke inserting herself to throw the champagne out of the blue when neither sister was anywhere near her is like ludicrous to me, and just a way for her to jump on the bandwagon in this scene, and I don't like it. I'm not saying that the sisters have done nothing wrong, but what I am saying is the way that they were attacked in this moment, I just kind of didn't understand why Brooke even jumped into this. Because had Brooke not escalated that situation, had Duffy not thrown a plate, it wouldn't have gotten to that place. But they took it there. So now we're here. And so Brandi, bless her heart and soul, decides that she wants to intervene. Sometimes you have got to stop trying to be in the middle of all the situations, because being in the middle oftentimes gets you hurt, as Brandi learned in this episode, because in the midst of being dragged off after having champagne thrown at her, Naria, from what it appears to be on the screen, grabs a bottle of champagne and throws it at Brooke, but it hits Brandi in the back of the head. Clonk, and down she goes. Now, the paramedics will later tell Brandi that she passed out. I ain't see her pass out. Jennifer will later say, we don't need you to pass out. Did I miss Brandi passing out? Because I know I heard the paramedics say she passed out. I ain't see her pass out. I ain't see her fall down. It definitely looked like she got hit and she got hurt. But at the end of the day, I don't think, did the girl pass out? I ain't see it. Okay. And to be quite honest with you, it felt to me like the production focused more on Naria during the entire seasons, both seasons. But it feels to me like Naria is the one that is married. So to me, the focus should have been on her. And she was the one who was getting the most about it. She, to me, provided more interest. Okay. And I felt like she, to me, deserved more of a spot on the show than some of these other ladies that are hooping and hollering and doing a lot for nothing. Okay. That's just me. That's just me. T Ness says, hey Richie, like I said 2 weeks ago, I feel like all these storylines are stale and made up. Love you. Hey Boo, thank you for the super chat. Love you too. We got Miss Bless 64 who says BAB, aka Big Ankle Brit. Oh, needs to sit down. Brandi is fake and have no desire to be cool with Malaysia, and she's going to do whatever she can to create a situation with her, and she needs to be real. We're gonna get to that in a second because that's one of the reasons why I'm mad. Okay. So anyway, the paramedics come. check Brandi out. Malaysia comes back and tells the girls after production has the security has taken Nia and Naria off, dragged them off back to their hotel room without their shoes. Malaysia comes into the group and in a very transparent moment says, listen, guys, I have been on their end of the situation where I was the odd person out after having a physical altercation. So I want to go check on them and see how they're doing. And then Jackie is a little too silent in the situation for me because Jackie is the one who brought the sisters, okay, quote, brought the sisters into the group. And I just feel like Jackie didn't do enough to, try to step in and, help out with the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Because I do feel like they was being unfairly treated, and I feel like they were being isolated because, for some reason, the other women just didn't feel like I don't think that they deserve to be there or whatever. And I'm like, all of y'all just got back here. What you talking about? So to me, everybody's in the same boat, to be quite real with you, except for Jennifer, Malaysia, and Jackie. But I digress. They call the sisters or whatever on the FaceTime, Jackie and Malaysia. The sisters, Naria is embarrassed, and essentially they chalk it up to just everybody being too overloaded in the moment. Now, the ladies all gather together while Duffy is packing and ready to go. Jackie starts to passing out the cigars and whatnot. And Brooke apologizes for throwing the drink. And, she talks about she was being antagonized. And that's why I wrote in my notes, how? Nobody was talking to you. You intervened in a situation where you had no business jumping in and throwing some champagne on somebody for no reason. Anyway, Jen says she wants them to all agree to do better than they were. And I could tell you, to be honest with you, I would have trimmed this cast down by about 3 people. I can't tell you exactly who I would trim, but I could tell you who I would keep, which also probably means I could tell you who I would trim. But I would have kept Jackie. I would have kept Jennifer. I would have kept Malaysia. I would have kept Brandi. I probably would have kept Duffy. I would have kept Naria and Nia. Thus far, while I think that Brooke is a very beautiful woman, I think that she has not aged at all. I personally find her scenes and her stories, I just don't connect with them as a viewer, to be quite honest with you. We got a whole storyline over the 2 episodes of Brooke, giving us this backstory of having this petty argument with her mother. We never find out what the argument is about, okay? We never actually, even when she does get into a situation where she is talking to her mother and her grandmother and her brother about the situation, we never find out what it was that was said that was so petty that would lead her to not talk to her mother for a year. Okay, so this is a storyline that was introduced in these 2 episodes. There was no lead up to it, no information given about what they were arguing about, and there was really no meat to the story. So I just kind of feel like that has been the case with her storyline, or her story. And I hate that term storyline, so let me not use that. That has been the case with her story ever since we've seen her back on the seasons. Otherwise, it seems as though her only purpose for being there is to further antagonize and to, dramatically encounter people. And it seems like she thrives more in conflict on this show than anything else. And furthermore, I feel like a lot of these girls are gassing Brandi up to dislike Malaysia because they want to keep Brandi for themselves, and they believe that if Brandi becomes friends with Malaysia again, that they will all be kind of on the outskirts again, because they know that Brandi or Malaysia is probably their ticket to remaining on the show, because theirs is the biggest, most simmering beef on the show. So I don't really feel, to me in my spirit, like Brandi nor Duffy really want for Brandi and Malaysia to make up, based on the types of questions that they asked them throughout the scenes. Do you really trust Malaysia now after your conversation? How do you feel about her? Do you think that you can really trust her? I mean, I don't know. Those types of things are those little seeds that they're planting in Brandi. I feel like she is naive enough to fall for them because she's getting the attention that she desired from Malaysia from those ladies. That's how I personally feel. For real. And so even when we do get a scene where we see Brandi and Malaysia sit down and have a heart to heart and a let's try to work through this conversation. What I see is from the energy that I'm getting through the screen, and sometimes again this could be just maybe third eye or maybe my perception, is that as I've stated before, I felt like the Malaysia that we had been getting on the show was a tired Malaysia, like just weary and just worn down. And I feel like in the past maybe episode or two, especially now that she's kind of gotten to a little bit of a better place with Brandi, it seems like she's, I don't know, and her kids are there. It's starting to feel like she's getting some more life to her. And so it feels like she's going into the situation with Brandi, like with let's see where things go. Like I'm happy to kind of, be back in this space with her. So hopefully things will go, on a positive note. And so when they have a great dinner and Brandi is laughing and, joking with her, even when they're joking about basketball, and after British and Angel decide that they want to have some type of basketball soiree at Angel's house that neither one of them can pronounce, but whatever. Brandi then in her confessional says something to the effect, well, I will never trust Malaysia again. I can't really trust her. I don't really know. I mean, we can be cordial and whatnot, but I'm like, girl, this has been your whole shtick since you've been back. Malaysia this, Malaysia that. I would think that now that you guys are back in each other's good graces, that you would be thrilled and happy and satisfied now that you got your sister back, okay? But no, now, oh no, I don't trust this woman. Yes, I can be cordial with her. It just seems crazy to me. You were so pressed to have conversations with this woman, but you don't even trust her for what? You could have just been civil to this girl and let her go on about her life without now trying to reel her back into conversation, only for you to now oh no, 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 no. I don't trust her. I don't trust her. I want to talk to her, but I don't trust her at all. Like, for what? Who does that? Who does that? And why do you have time for it? Okay. To be quite honest with you, if Brandi, she has some other issues going on, in terms of health, and I don't wish any of that on her. But to me, it would seem like, if you're going through these things, right, then why is it that you are so pressed to hold on to whatever past issues that you have had with this woman if y'all haven't talked in 3 years? But every time you get an opportunity, I know Malaysia is playing games. Malaysia is doing this. This is what she's doing. I know her. No, you know the version of her that you knew 3 years ago when you guys actually talked on a day-to-day basis. You do not know her now, okay? You don't. And that's the truth of the matter. All right? Yes, Brandi said baby steps, but to me, it just seems rather odd that you're like, I want to be cool with this person, but I don't trust them. She's playing games. She's a flip-flopper. You don't know which person you're going to get. Why would you want to be friends? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me. We too old for that at this point, okay? We not 19 no more. Like, that's some stuff that you do when you don't know no better. But we know better at this age. We do. So I that's why I feel like that, right? But that's just me. Again, that's me looking at it from a purely like adult perspective. I don't want to be friends with nobody that I don't trust. You can stay over there. It'll be a hey when I see you and keep it moving. That's it. Right? We can be cordial, but I'm not going to be sitting down in scenes with you doing nothing. And if you notice on every show, not every person films with every other person, like in these solo scenes. Jackie is Jackie throughout the episodes. I mean, she is somewhat disengaged in general from the drama. I think that's about to change because once you X out Malaysia and the sisters, these ladies are going to have to fight amongst themselves in order for this to stay interesting, right? So anyway, Jackie, is trying to get back into acting. So we do see a couple of scenes of that. I think one of my other issues with this show is that no story is fully realized, right? We'll get snippets of things, but we'll never get the full follow through with what actually happened with the thing, right? And I'm shocked we're even seeing Jen's hair launch, but I think it was because there was so much drama there that they could not show it, right? Um let me talk about Duffy for a little bit because that's one of the other things that kind of made me mad, but it didn't make me mad. She reveals to Iman that she wants to, make some records. French is going to make a record with her. This is a story I'm actually interested in following. So I hope that they chronicle this process of her making this album because I feel like there are some interesting struggles that could come along with that process if they follow it correctly. Every story doesn't have to be about drama, shade, and whatnot, but some things, if it's of interest to the audience, I feel like that's for me as if I were a producer on that show, I would follow that story down because I just feel like there's so many directions you could go with that if you are a creative producer. However, the bottom line is, Iman wants her to be at home, and she does make some very good questions for him. Like, do I make any of the decisions that you have to make about your career? Am I making those decisions for you? Are you going to stay at home, okay, and quit your job like you're expecting me to do? So I did like those moments, but he ultimately does kind of come around and sort of, become supportive of her, and he goes to her session with her, which I liked. Okay. Um, Jen is having her launch for her hairline. Okay. Um, Sherry Cherry says, "Where are the real basketball wives? Jackie, Malaysia, Brandy, or were basketball wives?" True. We're gonna get to British in a minute because I know y'all chomping at the bit to get into her, and I am as well. So trust and believe we're gonna talk about that. Um, Jen goes to Angel Brinks to have Angel Brinks, remake a garment for her or whatever, transition it, turn it into something else, transformer, okay? And so she wants Angel to come, but Angel is like, "Girl, I don't know because my iron is low," or something like that. And so Angel is like, she don't know if she's gonna come to the event or whatever. So anyway, we meet Ashley through Malaysia. The moment we meet Ashley, I know that Ashley is there to cause a ruckus. I know that. I don't know how I knew it. My spidey sense told me because the friendship was new for Malaysia, okay? And Malaysia was still getting to know, okay? She didn't really know much about her. So in my mind, it felt to me like, oh, production has brought in someone else to be the ringer since the sisters are out of the picture, right? You got to have somebody in there that can spark the drama because it feels like they don't want the main girls don't really want to rock the boat with each other. And so I know the moment that we see Ashley, okay, she's somebody's ex, okay, that matters to the group, right? I just didn't think it was going to be angels, okay? I'm like, we did this already once before. Why are we doing it again? Okay? But anyway, it's the day of Jennifer's hair launch line, and she got somebody running around carrying her ponytail for her or whatever. The man is in the back, okay, the ponytail like this, and the man is off to the side. He just carrying the ponytail everywhere she go. I was like, I ain't never seen such. And in my notes, I wrote, she got an 80-inch ponytail. And what do you know? I was just taking a guess. I was being funny when I was writing my notes. The ponytail was indeed 80 inches. Okay. Apparently, it has been grown for 15 years. And then it never been dyed before. So I don't know if that means that it's virgin hair or not. I don't know. But I feel like I've seen the word virgin and hair. So to me, is that virgin hair? Y'all let me know in the chatterization. I really don't know. But anyway, that hair ain't for sale. It's only for Jennifer or something like that. I don't know. Well, I don't know what she's gonna do with it. She gonna hang it up when she get home. So anyway, um, everybody's really impressed with the hair and whatnot. And finally, Malaysia comes because, and Jackie can't make it because she on set doing the movies and whatnot, working with Tyler Perry or somebody. And so anyway, Malaysia comes and she brings Ashley with her. And I'm like, oh Lord. Now, to me, it definitely felt like these girls knew who Ashley was from the jump. Because to me, the way when she was introduced and when Angel finally does show up unexpectedly, either these girls are psychic and they can read Angel's reaction. I don't really know, but it just felt to me like they knew that somebody was coming in and they were going to be brought in by Malaysia. So as the girl is brought in, it starts to circulate amongst the girls that Angel knows her. And so then as Malaysia talks to Ashley, she reveals that, I know Angel. She didn't speak to me. She's acting like she don't know me, but we definitely know each other. And Malaysia is like, oh no, not again. I cannot win with these ladies. But for me, it already felt like a scheme that production had set up, and Malaysia, whether she willingly knew or she did not know, is caught up in the crossfire. Okay. She's caught up in the crossfire. Again, it just felt like a typical Basketball Wives setup. And I just don't like it because I just think that whatever this production company is doing, and maybe this is why they switch production companies for the next half of the season, I really don't know. But what I will say is that I feel like maybe this is why that production company did not stick around. I really don't know, to be honest with you. What I do know is that finally it gets called out, okay? Duffy, Jen asks what's going on. Duffy mentions that it's somebody new in the group. Ashley just go ahead and gets it out of the way because the girls are asking questions about whether or not Angel knows the girl or not. And I'm like, that's how I knew that they already knew that something was going to go down that night, right? So I was like, okay, yes, Ashley, for going ahead and bringing the situation up. But at the end of the day, does it matter? If it was Rockstar, to me, this would make more sense as to why Angel would be so ruffled by this girl's feathers. But this is somebody that you are no longer dating, that you're no longer with. It doesn't really matter. Who cares what happened in the past? You about to be a promise ring lady with Rockstar, okay? So what does it matter? You're pregnant with the man's child. Like, this girl should not be a factor to you in any way, shape, or form. That is my belief, okay? Personally. So I don't know why Angel is so bothered in this situation. Meanwhile, I didn't mind that British had questions about the situation, about what was the timeline, because I was kind of curious about it too. Okay, to be quite honest with you. So I didn't mind her asking those questions. But then when British starts to go off on Malaysia about being messy, and she says, why do you keep doing this to people in the group? And then we get a flashback of Malaysia bringing Zell. Okay, so it is kind of like maybe a pattern that they can see. So I'm not mad at her for calling that out, okay? But when Malaysia says that she doesn't know about it, British goes on to say, okay, that's just like when you said you didn't know that that Brandy's father died. You didn't know about the issue between Zell and Jennifer. And Ashley kind of wants to leave, but the other girls let her know that their issue is not with her. Their issue is with Malaysia. So Malaysia's like, you know what? I'm not doing this today. I'm not doing this with y'all today. And Brandy's like, well, why are you leaving? Malaysia's like, I got to go. But for some reason, Malaysia comes back. I would have just left, to be honest with you. Brandy tells Malaysia that she has to listen to to the whole thing. Malaysia says that she wanted to cool down first. And Brandi tells her, well, girl, you cool. But in her confessional, this is when she says, I know Malaysia knows exactly what she's doing. These games that she's playing, I know who she is. She forgets that. And I'm like, well, girl, if you know she plays all these games, and if you know what type of person, if you think that this is what type of person she is, why are you so pressed to be her friend? I don't understand it. Meanwhile, now see, one of the things that I did appreciate Brandi saying was sometimes you have to sit and have the discussion, but walking away will make things worse. I would say in a normal situation that could be true, but given that just last weekend the ladies was throwing bottles and throwing champagne out of the blue, I'll probably taking myself out of that situation as well, because you don't know in this scenario when Brooke is going to randomly feel antagonized by somebody simply standing there and defending themselves to somebody else, not her, and she's going to feel antagonized and toss a glass of champagne your way. You just never know. And we know from previous experience that Malaysia ain't no punk, and she'll go toe to toe with just about anybody. Okay, we've seen her in action before. We ain't seen all the rest of these ladies in action like that before. So to be quite honest with you, I'm wondering why they trying to bring that old Malaysia out. To be quite honest, but anyway, Duffy and Angel try to get Malaysia to understand. Okay, like listen, before you leave, here's the thing. For Angel, this is why this is bothersome. How would you feel in this instance if somebody brought somebody that used to date Gennaro around? And Malaysia's like, listen, I get it. I don't have a leg to stand on in this situation. And she really does just own it. Like, you know what? Here's the thing. It is what it is. I made the mistake in this situation, and that's that. So versus letting it go, British takes it upon herself, okay, to hop on up in the mess, okay? But I want to remind you guys of something that British said when the ladies were sitting around puffing on their cigars when they were still in Vegas. She was reflecting on her past younger self when she was 23, and she said she learned a lesson. Sometimes she said you live longer when you mind your own business. Didn't she say that? Didn't British say that? So it is very shocking to me that in this moment she is going so hard at Malaysia about being a bad friend, when I don't even feel like Malaysia and Angel are even that close to begin with. And actually, nobody really knew if Angel was coming or not, because the girl has said her iron was low. And then to make the situation even worse, the girl she's got a promise ring from Rock. So she already promised to somebody else. She's having a baby by a whole nother man. Okay. So to be honest with you, why does it even matter in this moment? Okay. Angel should have just said, I don't really care because I'm with somebody new. So it don't really even matter to me. The rest of these ladies are making a mountain out of a molehill, especially British, who have previously said that you live longer when you mind your own business. So it's funny to me watching this and watching British berate Malaysia and go in on her, knowing full well in the next episode that she got a warrant. Probably at this point in time, this girl has a warrant out for her for an indictment that's forthcoming. So to me, while you sitting around here yelling and screaming about Malaysia being a bad friend, to me, you have better things that you need to be concerned about than this argument, which you are actually not even a part of. You don't have an axe to grind or a bone in this fight at all. So it's like, stay out of it. Like, what are you even talking for? And actually, Malaysia isn't even trying to be your friend. I can't even recall a scene in which I felt like Malaysia has spoken 2 words to British, to be quite frank with you. So why British is so upset is completely beyond me. Completely. Okay? and Brandi getting up and giving a sermon talking about if any of y'all brought anybody that Jason done been with around me, girl, is this the route that you really want to go on with that situation right there? And I'm not trying to bring up this man's past or nothing like that. I'm not going to hold it against him, because if she didn't forgiven him, okay, we can move on. But girl, that would be too many women to count it from the sounds of it, based on that episode of Iyanla Vanzant. So who would know if somebody had been with him or not? Okay, we would never know. The numbers are endless. So at the end of the day, the way they are going off about a situation that does not involve any of them, like Angel Brinks is their best friend. Here's the thing the problem that I have with this situation. When Angel Brinks was first on this show, they treated this woman like trash. They treated her like trash because they didn't like Drea. Drea brought on Angel Brinks, and they thought Angel Brinks was weak. All of them treated Angel like dirt and like trash. But the thing that happened with Angel Brinks is that Angel Brinks' stock went up because she kept going with her business. Angel Brinks kept going with her business, and she became uber successful and dresses a lot of the stars and provides wardrobe for a lot of female talent within the entertainment industry. So they know at this point in time, oh yes, we need to let's keep Angel in our good graces, because we're going to need some clothes at some point in time. Okay. That's the reality of the situation. Y'all treated Angel like trash, but now, oh my God, everybody must protect Angel at all costs. That's very interesting to me, because if you know the history, you will remember exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. They treated her like trash, like dirt, and they had no respect for her at all. So now all of a sudden, oh my God, no, not Angel. You didn't do that to Angel. Nobody really did much to Angel, to be quite honest with you. The worst thing that y'all keep doing to her is y'all keep putting her in dangerous, precarious situations because you are throwing things around a pregnant woman. To me, that's the danger that you guys are putting her in, and that's what you guys are doing to her, if we really want to be honest about the situation. So yes, that whole situation made me very annoyed, upset, and angry. And I kind of just feel like I'm really over this little group that obviously has some sort of pact to have each other's back. And I don't really like that, because it doesn't make for a very good show, to be honest with you. So anyway, Malaysia basically collects herself and she, bounces up out the room. All right. Now, that's really all I got to say about this episode. I ain't trying to go off on nobody. Lord knows, if British is innocent, I definitely want her name to be cleared of all charges. You know what I'm saying? She got a family, she got a kid, and so I don't want nothing bad on her. But this is what I'm like. Just stay out of other people's arguments. You had already said earlier in the episode, you live longer when you mind your own business. Girl, take your own advice, okay? And that's it. I'm done. With that being said, they do. And I don't like it. Yep, they keep setting these fires. It's like, what? Come on now. Stop. Meanwhile, that's how I'm feeling about the episode. This pretty much sums up my emotions. Y'all, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and Miami will be back on in, I think it is August the 10th, maybe, I think. So that tells me that we are nearing the end of this round for Basketball Wives if we don't end it with it in the next couple of weeks. It was a lot. I'm gonna try to do Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I wasn't really feeling the last season, but I'm gonna try to make it through. I doubt I won't be doing Miami because I really just don't connect to that show as much, even though I do like some of the people on there, and Ray J will be on there. But the promo was everything. Okay, the promo was everything. So, oh no, I mean, if it's popping, we'll talk about it, okay? Because you know him and Prince is gonna bring the drama. So I'm not mad at that. But anyway, I just thought I would mention that and throw that in there for y'all so we have something else to get excited about. Okay. Anyway, make sure. Oh, if y'all telling me Miami is better than Atlanta, then I don't know. We're gonna have to figure, we're gonna have to do a I'm gonna do a poll and I'm gonna ask y'all which one y'all want me to do. Okay. But anyway, with that being said, I will catch you guys in. Oh, thank you guys. No, thank you for participating in today's chat. I appreciate it. I honestly do. They do need to bring back Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I did love that show. With that being said, y'all know I love y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next video.